Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at celebrating Cinco de Mayo, but mostly we're poor at making art. My name's Benj.
And my name is Isaac. And this week, dear viewers, it is Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican but mostly celebrated in America holiday that we all know and feel mostly indifferent towards.
Yep, you gotta get your independence somehow.
It's not.
They always say.
It's not independence. What did you say? Independence?
Yeah.
No. Don't be that white person. Or that person in general who thinks that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day. In fact, if you say that, people will immediately respond with, it's not Mexican Independence Day. Because Mexican Independence Day... And
I think most people wouldn't respond with that. I don't think most people know what it's about.
See, the thing is, most people are indifferent to this holiday. Most people, this holiday comes and goes, and they say, oh, it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, we just assume it's the Mexican Independence Day because it's the only Mexican holiday we celebrate.
In America, yeah, it's true. You know, because why would we celebrate another country's independence? Like, we don't do that with Canada. Did Canada have an Independence Day? I don't even
celebrate anything for Canada.
No, because it's Canada.
Yeah.
And at least Mexico has good food. You know, Canada doesn't. Like, what's Canadian food? It's like, I guess they have those French fries with gravy on them, right? Does that count as good food?
Yeah. So really, it's celebrating the day that Mexico became the 49th state of America.
No, that was not.
Was that Canada?
That was Hawaii, I think. You know,
pretty sure Hawaii is the 50th state. No, Alaska's the 50th.
No, 51st. It's the 51st state, right after Guatemala.
Oh,
or Guam. That's what I meant to say, Guam. And anyway, since we don't know our history, we're the perfect people to draw Cinco de Mayo for you today. So just buckle up. We'll try to not offend.
If you don't know your history, you can watch this and maybe you'll learn something.
No offense intended. That's a T.
Is that true, though?
Oh, gosh, let's get that off the screen. I mean, we don't intend... Like, we didn't set out today and be like, let's make an offensive video.
Well, but with how successful our Chinese buffet episode did...
But again, did we set off in that video to be offensive?
Well, no, but I'm just saying, did we not learn?
Apparently, people like Chinese buffet videos. It's just something about, you know, food, and that's a Mexican drumstick.
What, is that like a...
And this is a bowl of rice. This is for China. And here's a hamburger.
So, wait. Now, I was fully unaware that Mexico was known for their drumsticks.
It's just... I'm just getting all the cultures in there. I'm just, you know, match a culture with a piece of food. Like, they eat drumsticks in Mexico. There is a proper... There is like a Mexican way to prepare a drumstick. Just like there is in every country on Earth. You know, like every country has their way. A lot of countries just copy other countries who did it really well.
I don't like...
That's what makes American food so great.
Like, does, like, Antarctica...
They have Arctic chickens. Arctic hens,
I think or like Northern Russia.
Yeah, Antarctica. Arctic hens, which are also called penguins.
Yeah.
They have drumsticks. Big, long, meaty drumsticks.
Yeah, way longer than you think. Like, you look at them and you're like, oh, look at them waddle.
Yeah.
They don't got legs.
No, they got real long legs.
And then you cook them up and you're like, oh, why is the leg so long?
If you want to do something fun other than watch our video, which we highly recommend, it's going to be great. You know, just click on over to another video and look up owl legs.
Oh.
You ever looked up owl legs before? They are like, just imagine there being like a foot. That's an owl foot. And the leg is like this long.
I think that's a duck foot.
Not if I label it.
Oh. And now it's an owl foot.
Now it's an owl foot, right? It's just a poorly drawn owl foot.
Yeah.
But yeah, go Google that. Watch a video about how long owls' legs are.
Just like watch them like catch food.
Yeah.
They like stretch out their legs and you're like, what?
Yeah, it's really freaky.
Like Inspector Gadget.
It's like when somebody lifts the feathers of the owl too, like zoologists who are trained to handle such things and won't offend the owl.
Yep.
They lift up the feather skirts and you see the full leg. It's very scandalous, honestly. If you've never seen an owl's ankle, maybe you shouldn't. There is something about an owl's ankle that is immodest. Let's just put it that way. Benj immediately goes to Google owl ankle.
No, I'm looking up. So apparently,
Benj, don't do it.
Apparently, in our last video, according to one of our viewers, they said our first stroke of the pen was at 7:30.
Yeah, we've had multiple strokes today.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, would any of these strokes count? Because they're way off topic.
It counts if I label it. There we go. It counts.
Yeah.
There's been art. There's been drawings. There's been words. More importantly, though, there's been black ink. And that's really all you came to see. This is a snake.
Is that going to be part of your... But see, the problem is there's also been a lot of erasing. And that's against our
the
rules.
Yeah, so those are just independent drawings, each of those. It's like I've done 7 drawings so far. Right. 6 drawings, 5 drawings, whatever it was.
I guess we don't have a rule where, like, I draw and then you have to, like...
Yeah. It's not like we just keep drawing on the same piece of paper perpetually throughout all time. That would be gross.
Yeah. We're getting new paper each.
Each of
so
these
we're not erasing.
A new sheet of paper.
So definitely not erasing on a digital thing.
No, but I mean, if you'd like us to start the actual drawing before the 7-minute mark,
it's
the odds.
I'm not saying that that's a goal.
No, maybe we should excite the people by not only telling them that today is Cinco de Mayo and we're drawing Cinco de Mayo, but next week is Mother's Day, and we have a special guest coming on for Mother's Day.
Yep.
My mom will be on next week for Mother's Day. She's finally agreed to accept what we do publicly.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We're going to draw something for Mother's Day. We'll have to talk to her about what exactly she wants to draw.
Yep.
And she can see us in action at work in the studio. She can get a real glimpse into the artistic process, so she can tell all of her other mom friends, because that's kind of our demographic.
That does seem to be.
It's like moms and a couple other people. That's our demographic.
It does seem to be that way.
But for now,
but then a month from today, on the 2nd of next month,
that's called June 2nd.
Yeah, or 5/2.
It's already 5.
6/2.
6/2.
We have our anniversary.
Yeah,
is it our third?
3 years of this. Can you believe it, Benj? Coming up so
the
soon.
horror.
I know, right?
Brought to the internet.
This must be a sign of the end times. Yeah. The fact that we have just been putting this into the world.
And not only that, but we're at 99 subscribers right now.
Oh gosh.
We've talked about how it would, like, we thought we'd get our hotel before we got 100 subscribers.
I'm pretty sure that we get 100 subscribers and the end times start.
It's a sign of the tribulation for sure.
100%. Jesus comes back when we hit 100 subscribers.
It was probably the main sign.
Yeah.
Like, you read Revelation, it's like,
and like, you read about how bad it gets and stuff. Like we're getting there with 100 subscribers. 100 people have now seen what we do.
Yeah.
Man.
Disgusting.
It's gross. Speaking of which, let's draw Cinco de Mayo so we can offend an entire different country.
Yeah. Maybe we'll lose some subscribers. That would be good.
It's true. So Mexican Independence Day is, I mean Cinco de Mayo. Oh no. It's not Mexican Independence Day. That is in September, which is a whole complicated history behind why it's celebrated in September.
They do it like 11 years early.
Yeah, they do.
They were so confident they would win that war that they started celebrating.
They celebrate like the day someone was like, "Hey, people!" And I'm sure he didn't speak English like I'm speaking, and he didn't have my voice, and it's not the real... Anyway, he's like, "Hey, people, aren't you angry? Shouldn't we rise up and become independent?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's listen to that priest." And that's the day they celebrate Mexican Independence Day, not the day they actually...
I thought the priest died, and that's why they...
Well, he died because he said that. And then there's a whole thing. Right, there's like 3 or 4 days that are like technically Mexican Independence Day, but they choose to celebrate like the earliest.
Right.
It's kind of like when we were like signing the Declaration of Independence. We're like, that's our day of independence. But really it's like the Boston Tea Party, us fighting for independence is,
Yeah. But we celebrated on the day it was signed.
Yeah.
Like, that's the normal thing.
This is like, they celebrate on like the day someone stood on a soapbox and yelled it to a crowd. Yeah. Like, it's a little less official, I'll admit. But that's not what we're celebrating on.
Most countries do
Cinco de Mayo has to do with France, guys. It was 50 years later. Read your history books.
Yeah, it was
50 years later.
It was like during the American Civil War.
Yeah, there was like a building, there was a battle, because during the Civil War times in America, France was getting angry with Mexico because Mexico had defaulted on some loans to Europe due to bad leadership and, just a whole bunch of, 1800s politics, as I'll say. And they defaulted on their loans to Spain, England, France. They made up with the other two countries. But France was like, we're coming and we're taking over.
Yeah, and that's exactly how they said it, too.
Yeah.
Like New York gangsters.
Yeah. Tommy guns at the ready. See? But in French. Just imagine that accent, but French people.
So I'm shocked here. I thought you were going to offend Mexico, but when you said we're offending the whole country, you meant France.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna shoot for 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not
a new goal.
I'm not
last time we only offended all of China. Now we got to offend 2 countries.
Anyways, I'm gonna try to draw some nose first French.
Oh, nose first French.
Uh-huh.
That's the most offensive way to draw a Frenchman.
He's got an eye and a little mouth that looks like an eye.
I don't know if I can call this.
Make that a little bit bigger.
As the creator of nose first style. Oh, this is not nose first style.
You got 2 eyes now.
Just because you draw the nose first.
French.
This is bowling ball
French
style.
No, this is how I picture the French.
As bowling balls?
Well, as peas.
With a nose?
As peas.
Oh. Like from VeggieTales.
Yeah, the French peas.
French peas.
I'm not prepared to actually draw French people. Because there's a lot of French stereotypes, and I don't give into those. I'm not gonna draw, they're just all too gross, honestly. They're either really fancy or really gross, the French stereotypes.
So you draw peas?
Yeah, peas. Anyway, there's French peas.
Would you consider peas fancy or gross?
I like peas, so they're probably fancy.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's the difference? Of gross and fancy?
My opinion.
You like it?
My opinion. Anyway, I gotta draw a French hat.
Oh.
Oh, the pen. I thought we fixed our pen.
I'm pretty sure that's never happened.
Anyway, this is one of them French hats.
Mm-hmm.
It's also called a French beret. We wear them sometimes when we're in public.
When we went and did art.
Oui, Jean-Claude.
We wore it.
Jean-Claude, the French pea.
Yeah. It's the only way that everyone can just look at you and know, oh yeah, that guy is an artist.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And better than me.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know. This guy's going to have one of those like Napoleon hats.
Oh.
Because
he's ready for war.
Yeah, because Napoleon was actually a part of this problem. Not the Napoleon you're thinking of.
Yeah, his nephew.
Yeah, Napoleon III. This is, by the way, for anybody who says we don't know our history. Has an F. Oh gosh.
So it has an F for France.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do a real F, not a pen messing up. Letters matter. Don't let your teachers tell you otherwise. Because that's what teachers do.
They tell you that letters don't matter.
Yeah, apparently. He has a French hat. Yeah. And they're like, Jean-Claude, oui, let's take over Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
I thought it was Napoleon.
Well, I mean...
Was Napoleon saying that to Jean-Claude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Napoleon and Jean-Claude, the 2 French names I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like Pierre.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard. Yes, exactly. Yeah, anyway. They're in the... whatever the space program is from France. I think they call it the USS.
Why is it?
It doesn't stand for what you think it does. It's like, you silly saps.
Why is the U?
We're going to France.
Why is the U spelled with the U?
It's French. French. That's how it's spelled in French. Anyway, they're here and they're at the fort. So the fort. Mm-hmm. This is the fort.
Okay.
Maybe the fort has
this is like the Mexican fort.
Yeah, it has like a Mexican door.
What's in a Mexican door?
It's like a normal door, but in Mexico. It's like one of those like, doors from Princess Bride that the castle had.
Mm-hmm.
The one that Fezzik has to grab and hold up.
Yeah.
The portcullis, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have one of those. in Mexico, but it's made of Mexican steel.
Mexican steel. Oh yes.
Yeah, this is made of Mexican adobe bricks. You know,
I'll
draw the bricks later if I need to. And up here, defending, you know, because the story is that the French peas attack Mexico, and they're like, "Oui, oui," because that's all they know. They're very uneducated French soldiers. These, and they're like, "We're going to take your castle.
They surprisingly
We're going to take your country."
They know English surprisingly better than they know French.
Well, they're in the Americas. They heard it was the trade language. So they're there, and up here we have the defenders of the crown, the Mexican crown, which just so happens to be. Oh, look at how friendly they are.
When Mexico became independent, did they have a king, or did they become a democracy right away?
I do not know the answer to your silly question.
Because like now they have a president, right? So, but I don't know. I know that technically at this time they would have had an emperor of Mexico.
No, I think
set up by the French.
I think they had a ruler, but I think that France tried to set up their own ruler, their own emperor. Mm-hmm. I mean, how bold is France to just show up in another country and be like, "You're ours now. This is your new emperor," and then battle happens.
Just lose.
1, 2, the 5 Mayos.
Mm-hmm.
The Cinco Mayos. Cinco de Mayos.
Is that what Cinco means?
It means 5. Everyone knows that Mayo.
5 de Mayo?
Yeah, that's why this. Just listen to the history.
Okay.
So anyway, they have.
They look real. Well, I mean, the one with the face looks real happy about this situation.
He's very proud.
He's like, "Oh yes, finally, the French are here."
He's very proud to serve his country.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't look proud. He looks happy.
He is happy. He's happy to serve his country. He knows.
Like I don't think he did. I don't think he knows this is going to be a battle.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. Maybe he's. It's the whole like, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. It's like if I don't smile, I'll frown. You know how it goes.
This like comes out.
Yeah, it's just the norm. So anyway, what?
Oh, they have arms.
Kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? What are those?
Definitely, I mean.
There's just antennas on the side. Like how they're like standing.
It's like a way they line up, like you ever see soldiers, like soldiers when they march, like they all have to line up
and every other one puts their arms up and arms down in alternating fashion.
It's kind of like when they march and the person in the front row has to put their leg forward and then the person behind them fills in the gap with their leg.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, well,
not the opposite.
It's different when you're Mayo. Obvious. Come on, man. Mayo and people aren't the same.
Yeah, no, there's truth
to that. This is the real history.
How come only one of them has a face?
They will get faces.
Okay.
After they get legs.
Just like you drew his face like first.
Well, this is called...
You're not being consistent on what you draw first.
It's to leave you all in suspense. You gave me such a hard time about the one's face, I have to give it thought now. They're up there, ready to defend their fort. By the way, their fort was called De Cinque.
Oh.
Not like the number. No, there's Cinco Mayos defending the Cinco.
I was expecting it to be called De Mayo.
And Pueblo. Because it was in the city of Pueblo.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So because of history.
Yeah. The real
history that we know. And we totally knew before we looked it up a few minutes ago.
The roof is a bit askew. Let's see.
Well, that one's not as happy to be there. I guess he's up front, so.
Yeah, he sees what's going on.
Oh, he's angry. He's raring to go. He's a cat.
Yeah, he is.
He's also a cat.
It's kind of like a bear.
Oh, okay.
And
like a cutesy one.
Yeah. So the French peas came to Pueblo.
So I see there's only 2 peas here.
Well, okay.
And the actual thing, the French outnumbered them 3-1, right?
Yeah, it was 6,000 to 2,000, which, if you know your ratios, yeah, not all of them have hats.
Yeah,
and they lined up.
You got your captain get there, and you got your artist there. You don't need anybody else to have a hat.
Exactly, right? The rest don't get hats. Maybe this guy will have a hat.
Isn't that like a Russian hat?
No, it's like a Mexican war hat.
Mexican?
Yeah.
See a
Sorry, French, maybe, or Mexican. Maybe you stole it off of a French, off of Mayo. Now this guy doesn't have a hat. Don't you feel bad for him now? Maybe I'll give him like a...
Like pigtails?
Like a sleeping cap.
Oh.
Like he was just... Oh gosh, it's a bad sleeping cap. It's like pulled down over one eye for some reason. I don't know. Man, I went one too far with the hats. There's a lot of them. They just lined up.
It looks more like a half of a jester's hat.
Maybe that's what it is. They're on the berm over here.
Mm-hmm. Interesting choice for them to put up their castle right next to.
Well, there's like a moat.
Hill.
There's like a moat down here.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll show you. There's like a...
But that's not like a drawbridge. Like how did they get across the moat?
They ride the Mexican alligator.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know? All moats have alligators. If they don't, it's not even a moat.
Yeah, it's just a lake.
Everybody knows that.
Maybe a river if it's flowing.
Mexican alligator. I mean, if we have American alligators, Mexico's not that far from... Like, there's got to be alligators in Mexico,
yeah.
right?
Like there's alligators in, like, Costa Rica,
maybe
too.
they were just imported, but...
Like, they've got to walk to Mexico.
What, alligators? They're just, like, march down there for the summer, for spring,
like for
spring break?
Like I was saying,
down to Cancun?
There's some in Costa Rica.
You think?
I know. I've seen them.
What were they in, like, a zoo?
No.
You saw wild alligators.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And there's obviously some in America. Not Arizona, but in America. So they must be. They're clearly just all in the Americans. The Americas.
Yeah. They're starting off with one of the classic
French taunts,
yeah.
Said by English people.
Yeah, you know. This is kind of different than the one you might have heard because this is in the plural.
Mm-hmm.
But again, let's just take a moment to acknowledge that their English, their French people, is quite on point.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know French.
Yeah.
But they know English well.
Uh-huh.
So even though they're talking to Mexican people, Mexican Mayo, actually, they speak English.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're up here, and they're going to prepare the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So they have slushies.
Oh, this is like reverse VeggieTales.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. They threw slushies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing about Cinco de Mayo, right? I mentioned this earlier, but it's mostly celebrated in America. They do celebrate it in Pueblo, but it's become like one of them Hallmark holidays. But it's not a Hallmark holiday. It's more like a...
Yeah, because you don't send cards.
No. It's like a food and drink holiday.
Hallmark makes zero money off it.
It's like the beer companies, like Corona sponsors this holiday, you know? Like Corona and On the Border, the Mexican restaurant, like they sponsor this holiday.
Mexico probably makes a lot of money.
Tostitos. You know, like all the Mexican food and drink companies get together and they're like, time to make this a thing, you know? We're going to celebrate Mexico by celebrating the day they repelled the French in Pueblo, you know, because like no average American, unless you've looked it up like us, knows the history of this day because why would you? It's like the date of one battle in Mexican history. Right. It wasn't even the end of this like war with France. It was just like the first battle that Mexico won, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Mexico chooses weird days to celebrate. Like obviously, great, celebrate that you beat France.
Yeah, well, but like why? What country can't celebrate that? You know, like all countries. Like you've been around long enough, you've defeated France.
Even France can celebrate it.
Yeah, if you've been around long enough, you've defeated France in a war. It's like a badge of honor. Like you're not really a country until you've defeated France.
Yeah,
England is such a country. Like say what you will, and us defeating England just means we actually defeated France a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how it works by default.
We also defeated France like 2 or 3 times.
Like we had to prove that we weren't, you know, just a fluke by defeating France.
Yeah, we didn't just happen to beat England.
If your country, if you'd like to start a new country, just keep in mind, for you to be acknowledged by the 2 poor artists as a real country, you have to first defeat France. Yeah. So if you don't have enough...
And you don't have to pick a war with France. They will pick a war with you.
They will, yeah.
I don't... Like, they're so bad at war, but they pick wars with every country.
They're so good at picking wars. Yeah. You know? Yeah, they are. And this is what happened in Pueblo. There was
like what was this war over? They didn't pay their loan on time.
Yeah,
like that's.
Well, I think they were like, we're never gonna really pay our loan.
Yeah, you know? But like every other country just negotiated with them.
Yeah, but
France is like, no, this is a war.
That's not what France does.
This is a war now.
Yeah, no.
Like America, it's like we became a country, and they're like, oh, you became a country? Well, we're at war now.
That's exactly right, and that's as it ought to be in the world. So this is the rich history of Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo.
So we definitely offended France. Did we offend?
See, I thought, you know, if you tuned into this video and you were like, man, they're gonna mess up. They're gonna be totally offensive about Mexico. I went a different route today. It's the because
I mean, you could say that we're not knowledgeable about Mexico. That's for sure.
Yeah, but we're also American. Like, how many other countries know other countries' history?
Yeah.
Like, in America...
It's kind of weird to know another country's history.
Like, America's the great... They call melting pot. Like, we know a lot of other countries' holidays and history because we have so many people from there here. But, like, go to, like...
Especially here in Arizona.
Yeah, like, because we're, like, right next to Mexico.
Yeah,
it's true. And we have a lot of, like, Mexican restaurants. And that's why, like... The biggest thing that in America, in Arizona, happens is like people eat Mexican food today. That's it. That's how we celebrate, and we do more celebrating in America than they do in Mexico
because we eat more food,
and there's more of us.
Yeah,
and you know, Mexican American. That's it. Mexican American food is better than Mexican food.
Yeah,
but that's just how American food always is.
Because we have all the spices of the whole world.
Like we have. Because we have people from everywhere, like we can mix all the different flavors and create something better.
Yeah, we can be like, oh yeah, this Mexican food's really good, but if we put some Thai, seasoning on it, it would be even better.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever in life seen a Mexican recipe that called for Thai anything.
Well, we don't call it Thai.
No.
Like what is Thai seasoning? I just mean like
I was wondering the same thing when you said it.
Like
what is
peppers
Thai seasoning?
that come from Thailand.
Yeah, we have a lot of produce.
Yes.
And that makes us the best. Right?
Yeah.
I can add something here though.
If having the best food doesn't make you the best, what does?
It's very true.
I mean, is it military power? No one cares about that. It's food. Oh, are they throwing tacos?
Yeah, I mean
I thought this was a slushy war.
No. That's That was this guy. Just look at him.
Yeah.
You can tell he did it. This guy's looking at him like, what the? We were going to eat that for lunch today, you know?
He's already thrown our slushies. Why are you throwing our...
It's
throwing
quite
our
upsetting
food, too.
to that mayo. But the Cinco, it's just... I
like that canon now is that he's not mad about the war.
Yeah.
He's mad that his food was thrown.
It's definitely makes more sense.
Yeah, because again, food's more important than war.
You heard it here first. Food is more important than war.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of wars are probably fought over food.
Yeah.
You've heard of the Great Pasta War of 1911.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it World War One, but
yes.
I don't.
And now pasta spread through the world.
Yes, it was freed, like Pasta Independence Day.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, time for you to defend an entire nation.
Yes.
I think that's where we're at, right?
I think so.
Those French peas make me happy. So do my jars of mayo. This is just... I should draw everybody as food from now on. Why am I drawing people when I could just draw bowling balls? I mean peas. So there's no arms. There's no... VeggieTales animators had it right. You know? If you've never watched VeggieTales, first of all, turn us off. Go watch at least a silly song with Larry or two. Second of all, they understood that they... Like, because the VeggieTale characters, none of them have arms or legs or hands or feet. Greatest artistic decision you can make.
Especially since they were doing like 3D modeling.
Yeah.
Like
No.
If you haven't watched our 3D
even do
modeling,
faces, you know?
Yeah, if you haven't watched our 3D modeling episode,
don't do it.
Not
don't
the
do
one
that
called 3D. The one the animation,
our Easter animation.
It's so horrible, and it took us so much time.
We should have made a 12-hour video of showing how we tried to do it.
Like we made it 5 minutes long.
I can't even.
That was
imagine.
too long.
Yeah, but
like we barely got it out on Easter.
So true,
because it was
so much work,
so hard,
so little reward.
And it's the worst thing we've ever done.
I know it is. We'll never do something worse, probably. But the point is, VeggieTales people, they knew they knew their stuff, because they're like, we can make them pick up stuff and set stuff down and move, but they don't need arms. Like it just like levitates in front of them, like they're using the Force.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, like I used to think,
we should adopt a handless style. We have nose first. We have saggy butt style, mangled hand style. What about no hand style?
Like,
you know, I didn't have a chance to mangle the hands today. I drew like little circular hands on the mayo. I didn't need to.
Yeah,
but I needed you to see their like pose.
I'll try my hardest to mangle some hands for you.
I'm so proud of you. But I've already done the one pun for Cinco de Mayo. What do you... I guess I left it open for the sink.
Yeah.
I did, like, actual Cinco. Like, there were 5 mayos. But I guess you could draw a sink.
Yeah. So I'm going to do nose first, of course.
A nose first sink.
But it's going to... I'm going to try to do a little bit different angle than I normally do.
I'm sure that won't result in something horrible. Horrifying.
The pen is quite messing up.
Well, there's rules about that. Unspoken rules.
Are there?
Yeah.
What's
top button?
See, I've never used this button before.
When the see, we're artists, but when the art equipment tries to stop us from being artists, it's like in rebellion.
That's like one of those. It sounded like you were going to do one of those TikTok things where you're like, we're artists. We don't use pens.
It's more, we do use pens.
We only use pens.
We should make one of those videos.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants that.
Yeah, you're probably right. But they do want to watch us take a road trip. We'll have to do that sometime. And by they, I mean I really want to do that.
The voices in your head.
Yeah. The fans.
The fans demand it.
The fans demand it. They tell me every day.
Okay.
Would you like to meet them? I can arrange that sometime.
The fans in your head?
Just the fans. This guy.
It's a different angle than usual.
Yeah, it's something about the lips and the chin from this angle that's really quite unfortunate.
Oh man, his arm was skinnier than I was planning.
You know, we had a church potluck today, so we didn't even have a chance to go to a Mexican restaurant, as is proper for Cinco de Mayo. And I don't remember there being any Mexican food at the whole potluck.
There probably was. We just didn't eat any of it
because there was
a bunch of pasta.
There's a lot of pasta.
And let me tell you, if there's pasta, I am not eating anything else.
I prefer to celebrate Cinco de Pasta, which is just you eat 5 different kinds of pasta on one plate.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, it's going to be on the menu at our Italian buffet at our hotel. Cinco de Pasta.
Yeah,
It'll be, you know how like Olive Garden has like the tour of Italy and it has like 3 different kinds of pasta on it, as if 3 different pastas is enough to take you all the way around Italy.
Right.
We'll have Cinco de Pasta.
Cinco de pasta.
Yeah.
But is it like a Mexican Italian fusion, or
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean, 5 in Italian is like cinque. It's very close to cinco. We'll just pronounce it wrong.
oh,
We'll make sure every waiter in the buffet, because they'll just be waiters for this one meal, I guess. I mean, it's because it's a buffet. Everyone can have Cinco de Pasta. But it'll be like a pasta station where they scoop it for you. 5 scoops. 5 pastas. I see this man, like so many others, has that like weird turtleneck problem. like his whole body is as wide. Imagine if you saw a human and their shoulder width was the width of their face and nothing more. Like they were just a pole. Like you say that about like super skinny people, they look like a pole, but they have shoulders. Like, this person doesn't. They're literally just a pole with arms sticking out of it.
Some people are born unfortunate.
This is like VeggieTales style. It's like the asparagus in all the different asparaguses. Like, this guy is just straight up an asparagus.
Asparagus. Like as if that's a thing people are.
Yes.
He also like doesn't have
Archibald and Junior. That's all I'm seeing. Archibald and Junior turned human. Like, what is he grabbing? Is this?
It's like his shirt.
He's like beating him up, like a bully. Like he's grabbing his shirt.
Yeah, he's like holding him
by the shirt.
By the shirt.
I can't. Oh, he's not small. This is like another man, not a child. I see now. Pig Leg Joe, the asparagus boy, Junior Asparagus. I cannot understand what he is grabbing.
It's his shirt.
That's not what I see. But you know, I have to accept it. It's like he's ripping the shirt off of him.
So he's like lifting him by the shirt.
He is lifting him, but it's also he's pulling down on the shirt. It's like it doesn't. It's like he's lifted him and now he's falling, and the shirt is falling with him. I can't even begin to make sense of those physics.
He's just holding.
He's also
the shirt.
He's also somehow
has a lot of starch in it.
A lot of starch. He's also doesn't have a left hand. It's just cut off. Like,
it's behind.
It's a stump.
It's behind.
It's just not though. We can see that it's not.
No, that's his thumb.
Oh dear.
And then it's right there. It's just.
Thank you. You did deliver on the hands.
Yeah, I did say what
I know. I shouldn't.
And this guy's not clenching. Like those are the full length of his fingers.
He's not clenching. Is that what you said?
Those are the full length of his fingers.
I don't think we should draw clenching people. I'll add that to the rules for next week. No clenching. No starched shirts. Like, The real question we're all wondering is, and by we I mean me and the fans.
The ones in your head or the real ones?
We're all wondering what the heck this has to do with Cinco de Mayo. Okay, there's a sink now. Why was the sink mayo? That's like the full question.
Yeah,
Why was the Cinco
this guy's
Mayo?
asking it. He's concerned.
What does that even mean? Cinco Mayo? That's not even how the Spanish works. Is it?
I don't know.
No. Day is just of. Cinco de Mayo. The Cinques of Mayo.
Right.
Why
So
was the Cinco Mayo? It's like the beginning of a joke that no one understands.
So then this guy responds with that.
Like in poured out mayo?
Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, it's not any better. You say it like this, it's going to make it all make sense. No.
And then this guy says,
Oh gosh, there's more. But you're so far behind. I wish this conversation.
and now we see his thought bubble.
Just imagine you're walking up to two people in the park and you hear them talking, and one is like, "Why was the Cinco Mayo? Like in poured out mayo? I wish." You'd be like, "What? What is happening? What is this?" There's nothing that this thought bubble can do to fix this conversation.
I don't plan to fix it. I plan to make it worse.
Let's break it down. Why was the Cinco Mayo? As in, the sink is made of mayo?
Yeah. You'll see.
And he's like poured out mayo? So he's like, maybe the sink is made of, pre-packaged bottles of mayonnaise. Like the bottles were stacked in a way that looks like a sink. But he's like, wait, maybe someone poured it out and sculpted it like runny clay into a sink.
See, I was going
and he wishes it was the poured out kind for some reason.
No, see, I was going for
what
bad English answer here.
Well, I mean, you've
but
totally
apparently I
accomplished
went
bad
too
English.
Far. Apparently I went too far.
Uh-huh.
This guy's supposed to be saying as in it, the sink produces mayo. And he says, I wish, because that's not what happened. The sink doesn't pour, mayonnaise doesn't come out of the sink.
Okay. Saying the sink is mayo. Why was the sink mayo?
Yeah.
You should have, why is the sink pouring out?
But it's not.
What is it then? Maybe this will help. We're going to put this in the gallery in the Hall of Confusion. Because people are going to read it and they'll just be like, there's words, but what do the words mean? There's art that we do that doesn't have words, where it's the same thing. People look at it and they're like, what the heck is that? Your ASU drawing is one of these, where people look at it and they're like, what is going on with that? Oh dear, what is that thing?
It's just
is this a sink?
Yeah, but globs of mayo.
That's like a sausage or a pepper coming out of it. That's a tear.
Yeah, but it's a mayo tear.
This thing is...
This is...
It looks like it's alive.
It's made of mayo. And so then this guy is here. He's remembering when he came here.
Oh, he's got real weird eyes at home. It's a good thing we can't see his other eye in the first drawing. Because you can't tell how messed up the eyes are.
This is what he looks like when he's distraught.
His eyes just cross, and his hair grows.
And he still just doesn't have a neck.
Oh yeah, there's no angle in which an asparagus man gains a neck or shoulders. Where is he? Perfect hand. Where is he? Where he just encountered this? This is clearly an alien. It's just an alien, but he thinks it's a mayonnaise sink. That's the best way he can describe it. He saw it and he's like, why was the sink mayo? And the guy's like, you mean it was poured out mayo? And he's like, I wish that's all it was. And then the men in black show up shoot it. And he's like, wait, I just thought it was a sink made of mayonnaise. And they're like, yeah, we get calls like this at least once a week. You'd be surprised how many people think their sink just turned into mayonnaise. And yeah, that sink frightens me. Why does it have like a feather coming off the top?
But that's the sink part.
Have you ever seen a sink?
I've never seen a sink made out of mayonnaise.
No, just in general. A sink. Like, have you ever seen one? Did it look like that? No, that is a mayonnaise sink monster.
Is like it's hard. It doesn't hold its shape well because it's made out of mayonnaise. Like go build a sink out of mayonnaise.
It is not possible.
And see if it turns out this good.
Okay, if I wanted to construct a sink out of mayo, I feel like first we'd have to freeze it into blocks,
right?
Or like freeze it so that it's like really
put it in a mold and freeze it.
Yeah,
but then it's gonna quickly look real bad.
Yeah, it's gonna start melting. Yeah. At some point.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, he walks in.
I've never seen frozen mayonnaise. Can you freeze mayonnaise? I imagine
you can freeze anything.
It's kind of like a liquid. It's like a weird liquid that's made of oil and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what mayonnaise is made out of, you should also be Googling that today because it's literally just oil and eggs like whipped together.
Although if you've ever seen an isekai anime, they always make mayonnaise in those.
Yeah, it's one of those Japanese cartoon anime things. It's just
they're like, oh, we're in the past now, so we got to make mayonnaise.
I know, as if that's
bring mayonnaise
the essential
bring mayonnaise to the world.
Like one of the essential things of humanity is mayonnaise.
Yep.
I guess if you get a whole holiday dedicated to it. But if you start building sinks out of it, you've gone too far. This is like in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where the guy's like, Prince Pondicherry wants a whole palace made out of chocolate. This is like the worst guy ever who wants his whole palace made of mayonnaise. And there's like a local mayonnaise factory down the street, like Willy Wonka and the mayonnaise factory. It's really good at making mayonnaise. So he goes to him and he's like, I want everything made of mayonnaise. And he's like, well, you better start eating it because it's gonna melt.
Yeah, and be real gross real quick.
I would
mayonnaise.
Being in melted chocolate would be gross, but
but I think it would last longer than mayonnaise.
Yeah, but melted mayonnaise. Just imagine swimming in mayonnaise for a second. It's like in your ears and up your nose, and your hair is just permanently greasy for the next 6 to 8 months because of it.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I could see like a mayonnaise foot bath. Like that could be a thing that would catch on in spas,
Yeah.
In the Two Poor Artists Hotel spa.
A mayonnaise right next to the mayonnaise sink.
No, we're not having a mayonnaise sink. I draw the line there. But I'm saying this is kind of this is like the thing in fancy places that like the rich people are into, People look at them in the red carpet and they're like, wow, your feet are so young looking. What's your secret? And they're like, mayonnaise foot baths at the Two Poor Artists. Yeah. I'm just saying, it might have some health benefits.
See, I now realize the mistake I made.
Which one?
I was trying to write the word it, not in.
Like it's poured out. You could try to fix that N.
I could.
It's not one of the easiest letters to turn into a T, I'll admit. No, but if you just... As I said.
See, I'm not good at writing, as people probably know.
No, this will be great in the Hall of Confusion.
It's a real
people will debate that letter for eons.
It's being a real thing.
No, it's just like a cross.
Well, what's the difference of a cross and a T?
Thickness, apparently. Like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
I like how your thought bubble, too, is just 3 little bubbles and then a squiggly line. Like,
it's a real big thought bubble.
It's a real big.
He's having a real big thought.
There's a lot going on that we can't see in that thought bubble.
He's like,
there's like the whole...
It's the whole coming up to this and watching it thaw. Like, he was looking at that sink for a long time.
You should title this so that everyone who looks at it's like, oh, Cinco de Mayo. Mayo. No. That's the sign of the end of our video. Just a long sigh of exasperation. But I'm proud of this,
Of my drawing?
Yes. Despite all of its flaws, it's so us. It's so, from his shirt to his stub arm to his asparagus body to that weird mayonnaise Pokemon that's in the other room.
It's so hard to draw in. The pen's like fighting me.
Yeah, the pen does that. Our pens don't grow up and hope that we adopt them. Like, they grow up in hopes of
they resist
greatness.
At every turn.
No pen wants to become a couple of things. They don't want to become that pen that's like chained to the bank. You know that one?
Yeah.
The one you walk into the bank and it's just like on a chain for the rest of its life. You feel bad for that pen. I do anyway. I walk into the bank and I see it and I'm like, I'll set you free. But if I do, I'm in a bank and there's like a guy with a gun over there. If I steal a pen in a bank, like you don't even chance it. But you're like, oh, they've tethered the poor thing. It's like a dog who's like tied to a tree and just left there forever. You feel sort of bad for it.
Yeah. Well, the reason they chain it isn't necessarily because people like go in to steal a pen. People just like you write with your signature and then you just walk off.
Yeah. The problem is once they've chained it down, I feel like stealing it. Like I don't normally want to steal a pen. This is the only pen I feel like stealing.
By the way, his other leg is exactly behind this other leg.
Yeah, that's how you draw.
And the other arm is not behind his body. It's exactly behind this other arm.
Yeah. And his flabby pecs that you drew. I mean his starched shirt.
Yeah, real starched. Yeah. Uh-huh. Enough to hold him up by. Like, this guy has other questions after the mayonnaise sink is settled.
Yeah. We have to go get some Mexican food, right, tonight? Like, that's...
I mean, we could just have more pasta.
Go down to Taco Bell. We live in, like, arguably the most... Like, us, New Mexico, and Texas, we're like the Mexican food capital of Earth. And I know you're probably... I know you're thinking it's probably Mexico, but as we established earlier, we've improved on the original.
Yeah, no one goes to Italy to get Italian food. They go to America.
Yeah, they come to Olive Garden.
No one goes to Mexico to get Mexican food.
No.
They go to Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. So, but then like going to Taco Bell is kind of like spitting in the face of that.
All the best Mexican chefs left Mexico to come to America to make more money.
Probably true. I don't know anything.
I have no proof of that.
You know what? I'm going to say it's true. It is true. The point is, we have lots of good Mexican restaurants here in Arizona. But do we eat at them?
No.
Not today.
We go to Chipotle.
Chipotle, yeah. And Chipotle's, we have Chipotle, we have Backyard Taco.
I don't even know if Chipotle can really be called Mexican food, but it is good.
My favorite Mexican restaurant in Arizona is called Mi Amigos. It's like one of those, but it has good food. Like it's pretty. They have my favorite salsa anywhere. We could go down to what's that other place? Cafe Rio.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right? We have options. I mean, we're all naming like mostly chain restaurants here because that's the kind of Americans we are.
Yeah.
There's those people, I know a few of them that are just so cool. And you're like, where'd you eat lunch? And they're like, oh, this little place that there's only one of that you've never heard of in the whole world. And I discovered it and we go there and I'm like, man, you're just so much cooler than I am about food. I went to like McDonald's. I ate Quick Trip taquitos today. That's what I did. Gas station taquitos.
That counts as Mexican food, right?
Yeah, so we'll just stop by Quick Trip and
some taquitos.
It should be great.
Yep. Well, I think we should probably end this video. Make sure we put a yellow background thumbnail on it.
Yeah.
Because apparently that gets us more views.
We're trying to figure out the secret to how our last video got 800 and something views.
How did the video before that get like 20 views?
Yeah. I don't know. YouTube's a fickle thing.
Yeah.
But we've noticed that the last
20 views is what we deserve.
Yeah, I don't even think we deserve that. We don't have that many family members that watch.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we watch it. 10 times each.
Yeah,
So
it's true. We saved the rest of the world. They're like, oh, someone's already watched it 20 times. We don't need to. But tune in next week when my mom is on for Mother's Day. And get ready. Start anticipating. Get your friends. Hand out pamphlets. Put one on your local coffee shop bulletin board that in 1 month is our 3-year anniversary. We're going to do a live stream then also.
Yes.
So if you've made it this far into our video, which is a miracle in and of itself, you can get excited and tell your friends, pop some popcorn, gather a group, throw a party. 2 Poor Artist Party.
Yeah.
Play Poor Pictionary. And we will do a live stream on our anniversary just for you. It's what the fans
and then
want.
You guys can all get on and make fun of us live.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
We can respond.
You can be like, what? 3 years?
To your hatred.
3 years? What's the matter? What's the matter with you? I don't know how to taunt us.
Yeah.
I'm bad at it.
Well, I mean, we spend most of the video taunting.
Yeah, it's more like
ourselves.
I've run out of taunts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just, how much more can I say about the start shirt?
But we enjoy the taunts that we get.
We do. It's why we do what we do.
Yeah. You would think we do it for the fans, but we do it for the fans' ire.
I know all the fans I hear from every day are always insulting me. They're always telling me.
Walking down the street, yelling insults at us, throwing pens.
Sometimes I'm just like alone in my room, and they're just there telling me.
Just whispering in your ear.
Whispering, like, why? Give up. Stop. Stop.
You're so bad at this.
You're so bad at this. Ballpoint pens don't even like you. Yeah. No tree grows up hoping that it'll be chopped down and turned into paper for your art. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be exciting. So
I thought paper was made out of elephant poo.
Only the fancy kind.
Oh.
But we hope you have a wonderful Cinco de Mayo. Eat some salsa. Find a mariachi band. Drink margaritas.
Or join a mariachi band.
Join a mariachi band. That's even better. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.